Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me today because we have some very exciting General Hospital news to talk about, and it's definitely worth the wait. I have to say, when I read this news, the first thing I felt was not just excitement about a familiar face returning to General Hospital, but a deep heaviness in my heart too. As someone who has followed this show for a long time, I understand why fans would be so happy hearing that the producers officially confirmed Nathan Dean's return. For people who have watched Port Charles through all its storms, a return like this always carries hope. Sometimes fans do not just want an actor back because of the character. We want them back because they feel familiar, because they are tied to memories, and because their return makes us believe that some unfinished roads can finally be opened again. But what moved me most was not the comeback announcement itself. What stayed with me was the way Nathan Dean spoke about his mental health in such an honest, painful, and brave way. To me, this stopped being simple entertainment news the moment he opened that door. It started to feel like a real human story, one about a man walking through darkness and still finding the strength to work again, to live again, and to face the public again. That means more to me than any flashy return ever could. Because in real life, some victories do not come with bright lights and applause. Sometimes the victory is just making it through another day, and that deserves real respect. I was especially struck by the detail that he had been taking psychiatric medication for a long period of time in order to make this return possible. I think that is the part that leaves fans both heartbroken and deeply admiring him. From the outside, people may only see an actor coming back to television, but behind that is a long private journey that most people never fully understand. Mental health treatment and medication are still things many people feel nervous talking about, especially in the entertainment world, where there is always pressure to look fine, sound fine, and appear strong. So to me, Nathan saying this out loud is not weakness at all. It is honesty with backbone, real strength, plain and simple. And I was deeply touched by the way he spoke about his family. I have always believed that when someone is struggling with depression, grief, and emotional pain that goes back years, family support can mean everything. No family handles it perfectly, and not every loved one knows exactly what to do, but when people stay, when they listen, when they keep showing up with patience, that alone can help hold someone in place when life feels like it is slipping. When Nathan shared that his family supported him so much, that became the warmest part of this whole story to me. In the middle of all that pain, there were still arms around him. There were still people who did not let go. I also cannot read the story without feeling a real ache when it turns to the loss he suffered in 2018 when his brother Jared died. That part is devastating, and I think anyone reading it has to slow down and sit with it. Some tragedies arrive so suddenly that the people left behind may never fully understand how everything changed so fast. What stays with me is the detail that there were no obvious signs beforehand. That truth hurts, because it reminds us that mental suffering often does not show itself in ways that others can easily recognize. Someone can smile, move through daily life, and appear completely normal on the outside while feeling worn down inside. I think many families in real life know that pain, and that is exactly why Nathan's story reaches people in such a personal way. When Nathan said he had been struggling with depression since he was around 11 or 12 years old, I honestly felt my chest tighten. A child that young should have more lightness, more ease, more room to simply be young. But some people learn how to carry sadness far too early, and by the time they are adults, other people only see the surface, never the years of quiet pain underneath. To me, that detail changes everything about his return to General Hospital. It is no longer just a story about who is back in Port Charles, who may shake up the plot, or what twist might come next. It becomes a human milestone. A man who has lived through grief, years of depression, and a very long emotional battle still found the strength to return to the work he loves and speak openly about his journey. That alone matters. I also truly appreciate that Nathan appeared on State of Mind with Maurice Benard. For me, that space carries real meaning, because Maurice has long been more than just a major face on General Hospital. He has also used his own experience to create thoughtful conversations about mental health. I respect that so much. In a world where entertainment news so often chases shock value, conversations like this feel rare and deeply human. They remind me that behind the studio lights and the familiar roles are real people with real pain, real fragile days, and real recovery efforts that deserve dignity. From where I sit, this is why fans are not just happy that Nathan Dean is coming back. They are happy because he is coming back with depth, with honesty, and with a story that feels bigger than the screen. He is not returning as some polished image. He is returning with truth, with scars he no longer feels forced to hide, and with gratitude for the people who helped him survive the hardest seasons of his life. I think older viewers, especially women who have lived through their own share of heartbreak and hardship, may feel this even more deeply. At a certain age, what impresses people is not glamour. It is endurance, it is gratitude, it is the ability to rise after being broken. And to me, this story also sends a clear and necessary message. Mental health deserves to be treated with the same seriousness as any other kind of health. A person can carry sadness for years without other people seeing it. A person can be trying with everything they have just to keep going. So when public figures like Nathan and Maurice speak openly about depression, grief, and getting help, I think that matters in a very real way. It does not erase pain, but it can make somebody out there feel a little less alone. And sometimes that little bit matters more than people realize. If I look at this as a personal interest story with a gentle entertainment news tone, then to me, this is one of the most memorable General Hospital stories right now. It has the joy of a return, the sorrow of old loss, gratitude for family, support from colleagues, and a quiet but powerful reminder that caring for mental health should never be treated as something small. When I finished reading it, I did not feel loud or dramatic. I just felt still. That kind of stillness comes when you understand that behind one return to the screen may be many long nights, many difficult steps, and many moments when continuing probably did not feel easy at all. And speaking from my heart, I feel happy for Nathan Dean in a very human way. Not just because another familiar face may stir up the story on General Hospital, but because a person who has lived through deep pain still found his way back to the work he loves, to colleagues who moved him, and to a family that kept standing behind him. To me, that is the most beautiful part. In a world as dramatic as General Hospital, sometimes the most powerful story is not the one in the script. Sometimes it is the strength of the people behind it. This one is not just worth reading. I think it is worth remembering. When I read this part, what stayed with me was not surprise anymore. It was simply how much I felt for Nathan. To me, the most important part is not a moving interview moment or a beautiful line. It is the way Nathan is truly managing his life day by day. He is not avoiding his anxiety, depression, or the emotional exhaustion he has carried. He is facing it, accepting that he needs help, and that makes me respect him even more. Not everyone has the courage to admit they have struggled, needed treatment, and had moments when they could not carry themselves alone. What touched me most was the way Nathan spoke about Kate. I really feel that right now he is getting through life by holding on to something very real and very close to him, and that is his wife's love. He did not describe anything grand. He simply said that through their years together, Kate has always checked on him, always noticed him, always been there. To me, that says everything. Nathan is coping through the steady presence of someone who truly loves him. When a person is battling mental health struggles, sometimes what saves them is not big advice. It is the feeling that someone is still walking beside them. I also paid close attention when Nathan admitted that before he met Kate, he did not fully understand how much love could help a person. That line sounds simple, but to me it reveals just how long and painful his road has been. It shows that Nathan is not only healing through medication or determination, he is also healing because he finally found a safe place to lean on. That feels like the deepest part of this story to me. Nathan is not pretending to be strong in a forced way. He is learning to keep going through support, gratitude, and allowing himself to be loved. When Maurice said, "That is love," I felt that line fit Nathan perfectly. In this case, love is not hurting him more, it is helping him stay standing. Looking at where he is now, I think Nathan is coping in a very human way. Leaning on family, leaning on Kate, speaking honestly about his pain, and accepting that healing takes time. To me, that is not weakness. It is real strength, and it is exactly why Nathan's story feels more meaningful than any glossy General Hospital headline.